I now have my Black Death article, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pre-reading activity to help me better understand what this thing says. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to number each paragraph so I can refer to those later if I need to. So here's one paragraph, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I would keep going on and on until I have them all numbered. And what I'll find is that I've got 16 paragraphs total. Now, what I want to do then is I'm going to circle main ideas. I'm going to write that up here so I know, and then I'm going to underline details that support or help describe those main ideas. Okay, so now I know what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to take this paragraph by paragraph. And so the first paragraph I read, coming out of the east, the Black Death reached the shores of Italy in spring of 1348, unleashing a rampage of death across Europe, unprecedented in recorded history. Okay, and so by the time the epidemic played itself out 3 years later, anywhere between 25% and 50% of Europe's population had fallen victim to the pestilence. Okay, so clearly the main idea here is kind of about what is the Black Death. So I'm going to circle that. It's all about what it was. Okay, and I can talk about some of the things it did, a rampage of death across Europe, unprecedented in history, and another big thing, anywhere between 25 to 50% of Europe's population had fallen victim. Okay, so now I've got my main idea, the Black Death, a rampage across Europe's unprecedented in recorded history, and anywhere between 25 and 50% of Europe's population had fallen victim. Now I'm ready to move on to the second paragraph. The second paragraph, the plague presented itself in 3 interrelated forms. Here we go. So it's going to tell me about that. So interrelated forms, or the plague interrelated forms. Okay. The bubonic plague, here's the first one, which is the most common, from the swellings of the buboes that appear on the victim's neck, armpit, or groin. Okay. It gives me some information about that. Okay. And then a second type, or second variation, the pneumatic plague attacked the respiratory system. Okay. And finally, the septic version of the disease attacked the blood system, right? So I've got the main idea, the 3 interrelated forms, and then now I've got underlined what each one of these forms was, okay? Having no defense and no understanding of the cause of the pestilence, men, women, and children caught in this onslaught were bewildered, panicked, and finally devastated. Okay, so we can circle no defense or understanding of the cause. Okay, and what happened? Men, women, children, panicked, and finally devastated. Okay, and so all I'm doing is I'm going through each one, and as I read it, I'm marking up, I'm circling the main idea from that paragraph, and I'm underlining supporting concrete details, important details that help me to describe or support what it was being talked about in each one of those paragraphs. And I would just do that for each paragraph as I go through this. And the idea is, by the time I'm done, I have a very good understanding of what's being said in this article. And that's what I want to do.